Hi everyone, my name is Rob, and today on our Avrame Home, I'm going to be talking to you all about the steel roofing that we installed in our house. This is going to be a two-part video series. Today we're going to be talking specifically about how it actually gets connected together, and in our next video, we're going to be talking about some of the features like how to go around skylights, up against the dormers, the rake trim, all these different odds and ends of putting in your steel roofing. Here we go. So when you're starting your steel roofing, the very first thing that goes on actually isn't a roofing product, it's Rotom Mesh. I've got a piece of it. I've got a piece of it right here. It's just this like really tight wire mesh, galvanized metal. And what you actually do is you staple this onto your strapping at the very bottom of your house and then staple it down the profile of your house. Because we have a slab on grade, our Rotom Mesh actually just goes down between our concrete foundation and the backfill that we've put up against the side of the house. After you have the Rotom Mesh on, you're gonna grab a piece of eave starter. That's what this is right here. This portion of the piece of starter gets nailed onto that first piece of strapping, and this is what you're actually gonna hook your very first piece of steel onto, and every subsequent piece along the edge of the house. When you're getting started on your roof, a decision that you're gonna have to make is whether or not your roof line is going to be square on the gable end or tapered like how we chose to do it. If you're gonna do the square profile, it's gonna be really straightforward. So long as that line is cut perfectly straight, you can just start putting your sheets up the side of the house. If you are going to do the tapered roof look, you're gonna be staggering it. You need to know how far over that stagger is gonna be so that you can start cutting those pieces at the top and work your way down to the bottom point in the very corner of the house. If you are going to do the tapered roof design, which I think looks really good, I strongly recommend going to Avrame's manuals page, where Ruukki have actually made a very detailed PDF that shows you exactly how to install the rake trim, which is this trim that I always called edge trim, the rake trim onto the side of the house where it meets the ribs. Check out that document and you'll know exactly how this all gets installed. When the time comes for you to actually start installing the steel, what you're going to be doing is you're going to actually be hooking the first sheet on to the eave trim. Each piece of steel has a folded part on the very bottom that you actually slide up onto that eave starter to connect it into place. As you can see here, so this is a leftover piece that I have. You can see that fold underneath and it's hooked onto that piece of eave trim. You slide that into place, and then down the side here, where it's got this profile with all those holes, you then put the screws into the strapping just on this one side of the sheet of steel. After that first piece of steel is on, you're then going to keep working your way up until you reach the peak. On the top of that sheet that's on the side of the roof, you're going to install one of these galvanized pieces of steel onto it. It's got a safety band on the back that hooks onto the top, and then you're going to put 3 screws straight into this, into the strapping. That then gives you another tab or another place to slide your next sheet onto it. With each sheet that you install on the top side of it where this galvanized connector is going to go, you also have to make cuts onto both of these ribs so that when you put the next piece on top, it can actually click in on top without it being too fat. You need to look at the detailed PDF on Avrame's page to know exactly how those cuts are made. Once you've reached the top of the roof, it's now time to start your second row, where same as before, you slide on that first one onto the eave starter. The only difference is now with the side of your steel that does not have the screw holes in it, you just want to take your rubber mallet and just whack the top of that so it clicks fully into place. And so one piece at a time, you're slowly going to start covering your roof with steel. Eventually reach some skylights or a dormer or something that will require you to slow down and pause. If this is overwhelming to you, seek professional help. I had a friend who was a professional steel roofing installer come out and help me get started. We worked on the first half of the roof together, and I was able to do the second half all by myself, but seek out advice and help if you need it. Well, that's all for today's video. I want to encourage you to check out our next video where we're going to be going into more detail about some of the intricacies of this steel roofing installation. Like what do you do when you reach a skylight or a dormer and things like that. But that's it for today's video. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.